You gotta love a campsite neighbor like that. We're at Black Canyon of the Gunnison, camping and exploring. Check it out. Gotta love it when you have wildlife in the campground. What a way to start our trip at Black Canyon of the Gunnison. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside, and welcome to Site A12 at Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park in Colorado. Super excited to be here. Black Canyon of the Gunnison is near Montrose, Colorado. I always want to call it Montrose, but I keep hearing people say Montrose, so I'm guessing that's how you say it. This is Site A12, and guys, when we got here, as you saw in the beginning of the video, we had deer just walking through the campground. How awesome is that? Let me turn the camera around and give you a tour of this campground before I forget, because we are super excited about seeing all the things to see at Black Canyon of the Gunnison. So here's Site A12. Okay, so we got a back-end site here, and the Kemp bus is parked. And we've got the cargo camper right behind it. We haven't even disconnected the cargo camper yet. I've got to do that soon. And then there's not a whole lot here. So we've got a camp kitchen that we break down all the time because we have bears. But then we go down this little path, right? And I love campsites like this. This is one of my favorite kind of things is you walk down here, you got a bear box, right? And then it opens up into this little open area where we have a picnic table and a fire pit. And then we've wedged the Kodiak canvas in that little tent pad spot, which is a tight fit, but it works for us. And then down the way there's a little meadow, and we put Delaney down there in the Merrimack 6. We didn't have enough room to pitch it in here. I mean, I guess we could have pitched it right here, but it would have been real close to the fire ring if we decided to have a fire. So that's Site A12. So I want to take a second to talk about bear boxes, right? Because that might have piqued your interest, especially if you are new to camping or new to my channel, and you're like, whoa, what's that? What's a bear box about? Well, it's very, very simple. Not everybody has a camper or a vehicle when they come camping. Some people, either hike in or ride a motorcycle, and they have, very limited ability to store food in containers that bears can't access, right? So number one, you never want to keep food, candy, toothpaste, deodorant, anything that smells in your tent with you, because animals can sense that, and if they decide they want it, guess what? They're going to come in your tent, right? Which you do not want. You do not want animals in your tent. That's not a good idea. You especially don't want bears. But there's a lot of places where I go camping where there are no bears, and I still have that rule because raccoons and other things will cut holes or rip holes in the side of your tent to get whatever's in there. So you never want to have food or anything that smells in your tent. But if you're camping where there are bears, right? And here, I'm sure there are black bears. I don't think there are grizzly bears in this part of Colorado. I always just treat all bears the same, basically, when it comes to food storage, right? Not when it comes to hiking, but when it comes to food storage, I treat all bears the same. Basically, your coolers, your camp stoves, your pots and pans, your anything, drink bottles that might have had Gatorade or some kind of flavored drink or sugar, anything that could attract wildlife either goes locked in your car, locked in your camper, or locked in a bear box. Now, you can also hang it from a tree. We don't have any suitable trees here to hang anything, so that won't work. So a bear box is a box that people can get into, but bears can't, right? And there's a surprising amount of overlap between the smartest bears and the dumbest people. So it takes a while to come up with a bear box design that works for the dumbest people, but also keeps out the smartest bears. So every site has a bear box. And so Like for us, we're gonna keep everything locked in our vehicle and in the cargo camper. But if we didn't have that with us, we would put our camp stove, our cookware, our toothpaste, our deodorant, our food, our cooler, whatever we want to keep in there, we would keep in there. Now, what doesn't go in there is trash and recycling. Okay, what you would want to do is you would want to, if you created any trash or recycling, you don't want to put that in a bear box. You want to take care of that right away. You want to take it to a bear-proof dumpster somewhere in the park where you can get rid of your trash. Because what you don't want is you don't want stuff in the bear box that will attract bears to it, because they can still smell it. They just can't get in it, right? So you don't want to do more to attract bears than than is absolutely necessary, right? And most likely we are not going to see a bear anywhere near this campsite. Most likely the Park Service has done a great job to keep bears out of the campground, to harass any bears that come near the campground, to discourage them from coming. But it is something that happens from time to time. These bears roam, and they might decide that, hey, there's some really good smells coming from over there. Let's go check that out. And they might show up. And if they do, we want to be ready. So for us, we're not going to use the bear box because we're going to keep everything locked in the cargo camper. But if we didn't have the cargo camper with us, everything would be in the bear box when we weren't using it. So that's how you use bear boxes. And guys, don't let bears stop you from getting out in the wild. If you follow just some simple tips and you're smart about it, bears pose almost no threat to campers. All right, guys, let's go see Black Canyon and the Gunnison. So it's getting dark, so we'll probably pick up the video first thing tomorrow. Stay tuned. All right, guys, it's our first full day at Black Canyon and the Gunnison. Let's go see some overlooks. The overlooks here are spectacular. Some people say they're better than the Grand Canyon. I wouldn't know. I've never been to the Grand Canyon, but I've been here before, and they are fantastic. We're gonna hang out on the South Rim today, and then tomorrow we're gonna go over to the North Rim, which I've never been to, so I'm really excited about that. Let's go check out this overlook right by the visitor center. So the last overlook was Gunnison Point. This one is Pulpit Rock. It's pretty cool. Let's go check it out. Well guys, Pulpit Rock was pretty cool. Actually, all these overlooks are pretty cool. Let's go see what else we can find. All right guys, just up the road a bit is Cross Fissures. about 357 yards, I forget, 357 yards from the parking area, down a little trail. So we're hiking that trail. I'm gonna go check out Cross Fissures Overlook. So guys, this place is just incredible. Just amazing overlooks. I can't wait to go over to the north side because the north side has a steeper slant, so you get actually even closer to the edge. But right here, I don't know if the camera does it justice because you can almost look straight down. Just crazy. I can't believe people come out here and climb this stuff. It's nuts. But what a beautiful day at Black Canyon of the Gunnison. All right, guys, let's go check out Chasm View Overlook. So just up from Chasm Viewpoint is Painted Wall. So we're gonna go check out the Painted Walls. Now, this is a really cool part of Black Canyon of the Gunnison is that the walls have these lines running through them. And the lines, I can't remember what they call it. So hopefully there's a sign down there. But the lines give Black Canyon of the Gunnison that striped look that they have. So let's go check it out. So the white lines in the rocks is pegmatite, and it was a molten lava-like rock that filled into the cracks in the rest of the rock, and then when it dried, cooled, and hardened, it became those lines. So it's called pegmatite. Pretty cool. Or in this case, was really hot, then became really cool. All right, guys, the next overlook is called Cedar Point. We're gonna go check it out. I gotta get out of here so that people can park. I'm walking through the parking lot. Gonna get run over. But we did skip 2 of the overlooks because the parking lots were full. So we did miss 2, but we're trying to hit the majority of them. And then we're gonna see all of this again from the north side tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about that. All right, let's go see Cedar Point. And to give you an idea, this is kind of what the trails look like on the way to the overlooks. So So usually they're downhill as you're heading towards the rim of the canyon. But as you can see, pretty cool, deserty, shrubby. And a lot of them have interpretive signs that tell you what you're looking at, like the names of the plants or the scarcity of water, those kinds of things. So you learn a lot on your way out to the overlooks, which is pretty cool. I have a thing for cactus flowers. I don't know what it is. I just think they're beautiful. I love these old twisted cedars. Really cool. Just growing in a harsh environment. You suppose all these cedar trees are why it's called Cedar Point? So my tree ID is pretty rusty, especially for trees out west. They're not cedars, they're junipers. Which, after I looked at it for a minute, I realized. But that's okay. Sometimes even yours truly makes mistakes. So I don't know why they call it Cedar Point. They should call it Juniper Point. But guys, I've reached it. Here it is. Check it out. All right, I'm loving the overlook so far. We've got a couple more to go. And then we're gonna go down in the canyon, down to, I think it's called East Portal. I'll have to check out the map. But that has a really, really steep road with lots of switchbacks, a 16% grade. So it's pretty exciting. So stay tuned for that. It's pretty cool. And of course we make friends along the trail. Like this little ground squirrel. All right, guys, our next overlook is Dragon Point. Sounds ominous. But when we saw one of the rangers at the visitor center, she said this was her favorite lookout. She said that the river moves in the shape of a dragon and that there is like an image of a dragon on the rock, if you can see it. Let's go see it. See if we can see the dragon. Little rocky pools. Probably nice little water sources for wildlife. It rained pretty good last night. Okay guys, so the question is, do you see the dragon? Maybe it's the way the river meanders. And then I don't know if it's the lines in the rock that some people say looks like a dragon. I don't know. I don't see it, but it's still beautiful. Look at this. Just gorgeous. So Barb is saying that maybe that right there looks like a dragon. I don't know. I can kind of see it. Can you? Drop some in the comments below if you see a dragon. All right, guys, we're gonna go check out Sunset View. Let's take a ride down into the canyon and down to the Gunnison River. I've sped this up to 4 times normal speed. Obviously we wouldn't go down the hill this fast. Most of the time we were in first gear and let the engine do the braking, but we still had to brake in the turns. This is a steep hill. They don't allow trailers to be pulled down here, so keep that in mind if you're going to visit, but you've got to get down into the canyon. It's amazing. Check this out. All right, guys, so that was one crazy ride down the hill. Lots of switchbacks, shifted down into first gear and let the engine brake take us down the hill. Crazy thing was when we were coming down the hill, there was a guy who needed a ride, and he parked down and he had hiked up the mountain and wasn't feeling all that great, so he needed a ride back down the hill, so we gave him a ride. Ended up being an employee of the U.S. Forest Service for 30 years as a planner, and wrote the book, The Peaks of the Telluride, and gave us a book so that when we're in Telluride, as we're going from here to Great Sand Dunes, he gave us some tips on what to see in Telluride. So Jeff, if you ever find this video, I want to thank you for the book, and it was great meeting you, and thanks for the tips. Let's take a look at what it looks like down in the canyon. Guys, this is amazing. So here's a view of the Gunnison River, and this is where it's dammed up. And they use this, they take water out of here for use elsewhere, I guess, in Colorado. We heard a ranger talk last night where they were talking about how they were doing expeditions to figure out how they could harvest water from the Gunnison River. And in one of the expeditions, the people that were on the expedition would climb down into the canyon and then climb back every day looking for a place to divert water. I couldn't imagine hiking down that hill once, let alone up it. But doing it day after day after day, that's crazy. So we've driven as far as we can. As a matter of fact, you can see behind me there, the road is blocked off. I think that's the dam, but the canyon walls in here are amazing, guys. So if you come to Black Canyon of the Gunnison, go down to East Portal and do that little windy road and come check out inside the canyon. Guys, look at this. This is amazing. So we're just in a pull-off here, and you can just see how tall those canyon walls are. I mean, look at that. Looks like we've got some weather coming in. Well, we're going to keep exploring. We're going to stay close to the van in case we have to dive in. But I am looking for bighorn sheep. I want to see bighorns. It's one of my favorite animals. I always find it amazing how something with hooves can climb up sheer rock faces. That just blows me away. But guys, look at this. This is beautiful here. Just gorgeous. Driving along the canyon road, we found this mule deer. She's not too crazy about us being alongside the road. We'll leave her be. We came down into the campground down here, and you have great river access. There's some guys fly fishing, and it's just beautiful down here. Check it out. Let's go see if we can get closer to the water. So when you head down into East Portal, it's part of the Gunnison National Recreation Area. I'm not exactly sure where the line is between Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park and Gunnison National Recreation Area is, but at the visitor center, you can stamp your passport book if you do that. I love to stamp my passport book for all the national parks I visit. You can stamp it for Gunnison and for Black Canyon of the Gunnison. I think when you come down here, you're technically in Gunnison, but I don't know for sure. Either way, it's a beautiful spot and it's well worth the trip. Let me turn the camera around and show you where I'm at. So we have made it down to the Gunnison River. It's just beautiful down here. And of course, we're by water, so you know what Barb has to do. She's trying to get her knees in the water, not just her feet.
Problem is, it's a pretty steep drop off.
Just beautiful down here in the canyon. And there are trout jumping like crazy. One of the fly fishermen almost had one, but he's not giving up. Neither would I. So guys, we were having a great time, but weather came in and we decided to dive for the tent for some shelter. I'm gonna turn the camera around because it is really blowing in here and blowing this Kodiak canvas around. It's pretty good winds, so check this out. So I'm in the corner laying on the bed, and Barb's got her office set up in here. We're running off the battery power of the trailer because there's no power hookups at Loop A of Black Canyon of the Gunnison South Rim Campground. And of course, as soon as I turn the camera around, the wind dies down a little bit, but you'll see the wind really throwing this tent around a little bit. I don't have it staked out as tight as I could, so I think I'm getting a little more tent movement than normal. But bottom line is that, there we go. We're getting some pretty good wind gusts up here. There we go. That was a good one.
I'm going to center my table a little.
Barb's going to adjust the table because that wall came in on her monitor pretty good. So we're going to hunker down here and wait for the rain to pass, and then we'll get back to exploring the park. But You know, sometimes this is part of it, guys. Sometimes you got to ride out the weather, no matter what weather you get. And so it's nice having a Kodiak canvas tent because I don't worry about rain. I don't worry about wind. This tent can handle anything. So getting some good movement on the tent walls. So it's a little fun to be in here, but we're safe and dry, and we're waiting for good weather so we can go back to exploring. So stay tuned. Well, guys, that little rainstorm led to a nap in the Kodiak. So several of you guys have sent me a meme that says, all I need is a job where I go camping and take naps. Well, thanks to all of you viewers here at Camp Outside, I have that job. And it's a pretty great job. The problem, though, with camping naps is that when you wake up, you're all groggy. So I am trying to wake up here. It is still raining a little bit, like little sprinkles. Still have some thunder. But if I look off that way, I see bright sky. So I'm hoping that this passes because I just built a fire. And it's a nice fire. And we're going to have pudgy pies for dinner because that's what my wife wants. And so if you don't know, pudgy pies are little sandwiches you make in a pie iron. So it's 2 slices of bread and then whatever filling you want on the inside. So right now, she saved 2 pieces of bacon, and so she's making herself a pudgy pie BLT, although we don't have lettuce. So I guess it's just a BT, a bacon and tomato sandwich. But we do peanut butter and jelly pudgy pies. We do pizza pudgy pies with pepperoni and mozzarella cheese and marinara sauce. We do all kinds of different pudgy pies. And so today is pudgy pie night. And so if this rain holds off, we won't have to eat soggy pudgy pies, which non-soggy pudgy pies are the best kind of pudgy pies. So with that, let me show you our fire because I'm very excited about it. Here it is. So we got the fire going and got the pie iron up top on the grate there warming up, making Barb's BT pudgy pie. And it's starting to rain a little harder, which is a bummer. But guys, I did a video on these new little fire starters that I'm using, and they're called Blackbeard fire starters. And these things are awesome, guys. They're these little fire plugs, and they come like 50 in a pack, and it only takes one, and it doesn't matter if things are wet or whatever. It doesn't matter if the fire plug is wet. It will still light. Those things are awesome. So if you want to see my review on Blackbeard fire starter fire plugs, check the link up in the right hand corner because they're awesome. I used one fire plug to start this fire, no problem. Awesome, awesome stuff. Yeah, so this isn't working out so well. It's kind of raining. I think I'm going to move to the trailer for a minute. Hopefully this will pass. But, yeah. All right, guys, so we took shelter in the trailer, which isn't a bad place. It's one of the reasons why we have the trailer is as a foul weather shelter. So when we don't want to be in our tents and it's raining or just nasty outside, too cold, too hot, we can come in the trailer, warm up, dry off, cool down, whatever we need to do. Trailer's a little bit of a mess because we've been living out of it for 5 weeks, but Barb's up on the bed there. I've got some lanterns glowing. One of the things that I want to do is install some LED lighting in here that runs off the battery system, but the battery system is only installed temporarily in the trailer right now, and so I don't have any wire run or anything. So we're running lanterns, and one of them is this Kaizen solar powered lantern that I have a review coming out on this real soon, so stay tuned to the channel for that. And then the other thing is we're running these gear light lanterns, and I did a review on those gear light lanterns, but I'm not going to put a link to that. I'm going to put a link to the Power Owl battery review I did right up here. Power Owl makes nickel metal hydride rechargeable batteries. I tried lithium rechargeables in there. they just run really hot, really bright, and the batteries overheat and shut off. So I switched to Power Owl nickel metal hydride batteries, and they're rechargeable and they work really good. So check out that video on Power Owl rechargeable batteries if you are running any of these really inexpensive LED lanterns, because guys, they go through AA batteries like crazy, and I got tired of buying single-use AA batteries. Like, I just hate throwing those things away. I know, you know, they're not good for our environment. So buying rechargeable batteries will at least make me feel a little better when I'm lighting things with LED. So this is the first trip that I have had the Power Owls, and I really do like them. I've got to charge some up because I've bought enough where I can power all of my lanterns at the same time, but I don't run all my lanterns at the same time. So I have some that need to be charged, and I just put fresh batteries in, like the one behind me. So it throws off a lot of light, does really good, lasts pretty long, almost as long as alkaline batteries, not quite as long, but at the end of the day, you pull them out, you recharge them. You know, you can charge it, you know, you can run your lantern at night, charge it during the day, and it's ready to go full bright the next night, which is not true with alkaline batteries. So if you're interested, check that out. We're waiting for this rain to pass. Hopefully my fire is still burning and not being put out by the rain, because I haven't made my pudgy pie sandwich yet. But I'm hoping this rain lets up so we can go back outside. So stay tuned. All I can say, guys, is cooking pudgy pies in the rain is not my favorite thing about camping. Barb really wanted pudgy pies, and I thought, well, we're probably not going to get that much rain. It's just been consistent. So I got one pudgy pie in the iron. As soon as it's done, I'm going to eat it, and I'm going back in the tent because this is just kind of miserable. And with the thunder and lightning, it's not all that safe. So come on, pudgy pie. Let's get cooked so I can have dinner. All right, guys, after a washout last night, it's another beautiful day. Might get some rain later today. We've done the drive to the North Rim. We are about 4 miles as the crow flies from where we were, but it's an 80-mile drive around. So we are now at the Narrows, which we were at on the other side. So we're gonna go check it out and see. There's a lot less people over here. The roads are dirt roads, but they're pretty smooth, pretty well maintained. So let's go check out the Narrows. So the Narrows were pretty cool. Let's go see what else we can see on the North Rim. Now we're going to check out Balanced Rock. The cool thing about the north side is the slopes are almost vertical, straight down. So when you get up to the edge, you're almost looking straight down. On the south rim of the canyon, they slope a little bit shallower. So you're looking out into the canyon instead of straight down. That's why coming to the North Rim is worth it. So here you can look almost straight down. So we couldn't see the river nearly as much on the other side directly below us. We had to look either upstream or downstream. And I wonder if that's balanced rock right there. All right, on to the next overlook. There aren't as many overlooks on this side, but my understanding is they're all really good. Let's find out. This one is called Big Island Overlook. So I'm not sure where Big Island was in Big Island, but it was still an impressive overlook. So our next stop is Island Peaks, and you might be hearing the whir of a generator behind us. We brought the cargo camper because at the campground, if you're in loops A or C, they don't offer power, but they also don't let you run a generator. And we're having some battery issues in the cargo camper, and it seems like one of my batteries has died or the BMS has failed. So we only have capacity for one battery, and so I am recharging the lithium battery in the trailer while we're going here. I don't have solar on the trailer yet. My plan is to put 1,200 watts of solar on the roof of the cargo camper, in which case I won't have to use the generator to charge the batteries anymore. But I'm doing that in phases because it costs a whole lot of money, and I haven't found anybody who wants to send me solar panels for free. So if there's anybody out there who wants to send me solar panels for free, I would love to put them on the cargo camper and do a video on that. But most likely I'm gonna end up buying my solar panels myself and doing a whole kit. So stay tuned for that if you want to see the solar updates to the cargo camper. But in the meantime, we're at the Island Peaks Overlook. We're gonna hit the trail and go see those island peaks. Check it out. Here's the trail up to the peaks. It's a pretty short walk. Beautiful day. All right, guys, I think the island peak that they're talking about is that one right in front of us. As I move the camera here and look down into the valley, way down there is the Gunnison River. Just more spectacular views. So the crazy thing is Barb and I were just saying how it's like those old 3D puzzles in the late 90s where you had to like unfocus your eyes to see the image. When you look out across the rocks, it looks almost flat, like it's just one canyon wall. But as you look, you realize that it's not. There are rocks that are jutting towards you, and then there are canyons that are back behind them, and it's really kind of hard to describe, but there's just so much to see. If you just stare at a single spot for a couple of minutes, you'll start to notice things you didn't notice when you first looked at it. It's just totally amazing. And I hope you guys aren't getting bored of these overlooks. If you're getting bored of the overlooks, I want you to put something in the comments below. I want you to say, Kevin, I'm bored of the overlooks. And I'm going to say, that's just too damn bad, because we're going to go see a couple more. All right, let's go see what else we can find. All right, guys, I think the last overlook on this part of the North Rim Road is Kneeling Camel. Let's go see why they call it Kneeling Camel. There's a sign over there. I'm hoping that it'll tell us why it's called Kneeling Camel. Well, the sign didn't say, but I think with that rock right there, we have a kneeling camel. Pretty cool. And what a view. So while the sign didn't explain kneeling camel, even though we figured it out, what it did say is that the Black Canyon of the Gunnison is unique in that the river falls 95 feet per mile on average. What that means is the water is able to cut into the rock faster than other types of erosion, meaning that these canyon walls are steeper than most canyons. In fact, the sign says that no other canyon matches the steepness, the depth, and the narrowness of the Black Canyon. Amazing. All right, guys, the last place to check out on the North Rim is the Chasm View. The Chasm View is towards the North Campground, so it's not on the Rim Drive. So when you are coming in on the road, if you go to the left, it's the North Rim Drive. If you go to the right, it's the ranger station and the campground. Chasm View Nature Trail is right at the North Campground. So let's go check it out. So on our way to Chasm View, they have a nice little loop trail. I don't think it's very long. It looks really small on the map, but it's shaded under these nice juniper trees. And just a gradual slope down to the chasm overlook. So those are all the overlooks of the North Rim. Now, is it worth it? Is it worth it to drive 2 hours one way to come to the North Rim? I say the answer is yes. I think that the views where you can look straight down are incredible, and it's well worth the drive. But if you only have one day at Black Canyon of the Gunnison, you can see everything you need to see on the South Rim. But if you're spending more than one day, or you're camping at the campground, you owe it to yourself to come to the North Rim. I highly recommend it. All right, guys, we're finishing up the Chasm Trail. Some awesome overlooks. It'll be time to head back to camp. 2-hour drive back to the South Rim. But first we might stop to eat some picnic lunch. Okay guys, we made it back from the North Rim in time for, you guessed it, rain. Seems to be that it's just raining every afternoon here, so we're kind of dodging raindrops and just trying to stay dry. It's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just a little rainy and it just kind of comes in spurts. So I am working on a few things for Camp Outside. I'm doing the campground review now, so I'm trying to shoot everything that I need for that video, but I had to jump in the van here because it just started pouring on me. So as soon as it lets up, I'll go back outside. But man, the rain can't damper Black Canyon of the Gunnison. I mean, even though we're getting some afternoon rains, we've had some beautiful mornings. We've had some amazing views of the overlooks. Just an awesome, awesome place. So hopefully the rain will let up. We're gonna make tacos for dinner tonight, which is one of my favorite campsite meals. So that's always an easy one to do. I did a video on that, by the way. So if you want to check out our walking tacos Camp Outside style, check it out. I'll put a link up there where you can check that out. But I am determined to enjoy the day and not let this evening become a washout like last night. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, we're going to take advantage of a lull in the rain to cook some dinner and to make our muffins for tomorrow. Now, if you watch my channel, you know that sometimes we do muffins in our Omni oven and we cook them the night before so that we have muffins for our drive days since we're leaving tomorrow. So we've got wild berry muffins in the Omni oven. I'm gonna get that going and then we're gonna make our tacos. Okay, time for the lid. And we'll bring the temperature up to 300 degrees and let it bake. All right, it's time to brown the meat for the tacos. And we've got thunder. Thunderbolt of lightning, very, very frightening me. Eat tacos. All right, the tacos are done. I'm gonna turn this on way low just to try and keep this warm. All right, guys, the taco meat is done and ready for all the fixins. All right, guys, I got a mixture of cheeses. It's whatever cheese we have left. And then what I do is I do the cheese first. Then I put a scoop of meat on top. What that does is it melts the cheese. Then I put everything else on top. The salsa, the sour cream, the chips. All right, guys, there we go. Sour cream, cheese, salsa, meat, and Doritos. Our versions of walking tacos. You can also put anything else in there you want. Tomatoes, onions, whatever you bring to the campsite, you can put in it. And as it rains on us, the wild berry muffins are done. Now that is a beautiful wild berry muffin ring. It's gonna be great for breakfast tomorrow. Oh yeah. Got a rainbow right over the cargo camper. How cool is that? It's actually a double rainbow. I don't know if you can see the second one. Maybe right there. One of the awesome things about rainstorms is that they bring out rainbows. Starts at the cargo camper, ends at the camp bus. It's a pretty good sign. Well, guys, there's not much I despise more in camping than a wet teardown. It rained pretty much from the early morning on to about 6:30, which just got everything soaked. So we rolled up wet tents, and we had to throw wet ground cloths in the trailer and everything. So it's never fun to do a wet teardown, but it's a part of camping, no big deal. We are on to our next spot, which is Zapata Falls Campground near Great Sand Dunes National Park in Colorado. So I'm really, really excited about getting there and checking stuff out. The wind's blowing me around a little bit today. Sorry about that, guys. But this has been part of our 2024 summer trip, where we go from our house in Tampa, Florida, all the way to the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State, Olympic National Park, and back. And of course, this is part of our return trip. So we've got one more stop and then a really long drive home. So I hope you enjoyed all the scenery as we looked at a giant hole in the ground. I know I did. And guys, thanks for watching. And we highly recommend you come see Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park if you're ever anywhere near here. And if you're not, you should plan a trip. Guys, I'm Kevin with Camp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. We exist to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get you and your kids outside. So if you have any questions about Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you stayed here, also tell us what you thought of Black Canyon of the Gunnison. And then also, guys, you can connect with us on our other social media. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and X. Or you can connect with us at our website at campoutside.com. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button and that little bell icon that notifies you when we release new videos so you don't miss a thing. We've also got a campground review for this park. So if you want to check that out, I'll put a link right up here. Guys, we will see you next time.